Welcome back to a new series, and you may have already guessed from the title of the video, we'll be talking about the FOIL, which is essentially a distributive property. And before we get started, let's understand what FOIL stands for. F stands for the first term, O stands for the outer terms, I stands for the inner terms, and L stands for the last terms. It would make more sense if we actually do a problem on this topic rather than just discussing what FOIL is. So if you have this term and that's equal to 2, what's the value of 9x squared? So first, let's write the term down, 3x minus 4 times 3x plus 4, okay? How do we multiply these two? I mean, you can do it any way you want. You don't have to use the FOIL method, but because it's part of the FOIL topic, I'm tempted to tell you how to use it using the FOIL method. So first multiply the first two terms within the brackets. So that would be 9x squared. Then let's multiply the two outer terms within each of the brackets. So that's 3x times 4. So that's plus 12x. Then let's multiply the two inner terms within the bracket. That'll be negative 4 and 3x. That'll be negative 12x. And then the two last terms on the within the bracket. So that'll be negative 16, right? So these two cancel out because that's a plus 12x and a minus 12x. So it's essentially 9x squared minus 16. That's equal to 2. 9x squared equals, if you add 16 on both sides, it becomes 18. X squared is 2, right? X is plus or minus 2. Now, x can be a positive or negative integer. It totally doesn't matter because we're asked to find 9x squared. Whether it's a positive or negative integer, when you square it, it becomes positive. So it'll be 9. X is plus or minus root 2. Let's just pick plus root 2 and you square it. So anything square root of a square cancels out. So it'll be 9 times 2, which is 18. Does that make sense? So you multiply the two first terms in each of the brackets. Then you multiply the two then you multiply the two outer terms. Then you multiply the two inner terms. And then you multiply the two last terms. And that's how you multiply. You don't have to follow the order because irrespective of which order you follow, you're going to get the same exact expression. All right, so let's keep moving. This is one of my favorite problems because it takes the whole idea of the distributive property to a whole new level. Okay, and it starts with understanding brackets. Brackets are given for a specific reason. Okay, you don't just put things anywhere you like when things are given in a specific order through the use of a bracket. Now, before we do this problem, let's understand something. Let's say y equals x plus 2. Okay, what is f of 2? Okay, if assume x is the value, x is equal to 2, then we could say y equals 2 plus 2 equals 4, right? This is the whole premise around which we are going to solve the problem. Now, the question has given you g of x and h of x separately, and it's asking which of the following is equivalent to g of h of x minus h of g of x. Okay, I have purposefully removed the multiple choice because I want you to treat it as if it is a descriptive problem and figure out an answer for it. So let's start with the first portion of the expression, which is g of h of x. So we're going to substitute the expression h of x into the x value of g of x. So g of h of x means we are going to take the h of x expression and substitute that in place of x in the g of x expression. So h of x is x plus 4, right? So we are going to take that and substitute for x in the g of x expression. So essentially that's going to look like 2 times x plus 4 squared minus 2. Did you see what I just did? I took this and substituted for the x. So if you expand it further, it's going to be x squared plus 8x plus 16 minus 2. So that'll be 2x squared plus 16x plus 32 minus 2. So that'll be 2x squared plus 16x plus 30. That's first part of it. Let's do the other way around. H of g of x, which means we take the g of x expression and put it into the h expression, which means we take h of x equals x plus 4, right? We know g of x is 2x squared minus 2. So we substitute this 2x squared minus 2 plus 4, which is 2x squared plus 2, right? We have essentially substituted the x with the 2x squared minus 2. Now we know g of h of x and h of g of x. Let's subtract the two of them. The g of h of x term comes first. So it's 2x squared plus 16x plus 30 minus of 2x squared plus 2. You see, I'm using the bracket because we're not just subtracting one term, we're subtracting two. Normally when you have negative, and especially if there's a negative within this term, then it's better you use brackets. Even if it doesn't, it's always a good practice to use brackets. So it's 2x squared plus 16x plus 13 minus 2x squared minus 2. So the 2x squared cancels out. And so it's 16x plus 28 is the answer. Isn't that simple? All right, let's maybe do one more problem. Okay. The sum of two numbers is x. The product of the same two numbers is p. If the two numbers are increased each by 1, the new product is q. Find q minus p in terms of x. First, the problem is easy. The only way you would find this problem difficult is because you're reading, you're not really making sense of each of the component of the problem. You see, there's a period after each phrase, right? You have to read and understand what each of those phrases means before you read it as a whole problem. We don't know what those two numbers are, so let's assume the two numbers are x and y. So x plus y equals s. Product of the same two numbers is y. So xy equals p. And each of the number is increased by a factor of 1, and that product of those is q. So if you do x plus 1 times y plus 1 equals q, right? So let's use the FOIL method to get the answer. So it's xy, right, plus x plus y plus 1. So it's xy plus x plus y plus 1. That's equal to q, right? We know x plus y is s. So xy plus s plus 1 equals q, right? xy is p, right? So it's p, right, plus s plus 1 equals q, right? So q minus p would be s plus 1. That's exactly what it's asking, and it's very, very simple. All right. Now, simplify the expression is the most fundamental way of how you apply the FOIL method. So you multiply the first two terms, so it'll be 4x squared y, right? We are multiplying this and this. Then we multiply this and this, which gives us 2x squared a. Then we multiply this and this, which means that will be negative 6xy. Then we multiply this and this, which would be negative 3xa, right? Don't think any of these terms have anything in common in such a way that we can add or subtract them. So we can just leave them as it is. Of course, you can take the x out if you're truly interested in reducing it any further. But I don't think that's even required. This is good enough, or this is good enough. So we have more problems to discuss on this topic, but let's stop the video here, and I'll see you in the next video with more problems on the concept of distributive property using the FOIL method. So stay tuned.